Hey, hey, hey. Hey, Kyle. Yeah, Perk was having a viewing party for AEW, and like the last the last 4 minutes, I don't know, maybe he lost a connection, or maybe just went fuck this shit. Oh man, pretty good show. I mean, not AEW, but interesting shows tonight. I'll just put it like that. But I see Edge still likes having his long matches. Wait, wasn't Dynamite only allowed to have a 10-minute overrun? Or did they cut off? Did the network cut them off? Oh, that'd be so hilarious if they did. Hmm. Alright. But, yeah, both shows. It'd be interesting to see what the ratings are. I mean, it's fair to say who's going to win this rating.
The way it should be.
But how are things with you, Kyle? What's new with you? Okay, now we got the man here. Got the man of the hour. Yeah, it's fall over there. It's starting to get a little breezy over here in San Antonio, finally. Thank God. Hey, man.
Hey.
What's good?
Yeah, not much, man. Not much.
Ooh, pretty interesting night.
Tonight was amazing.
Let me ask you something. Did AEW cut off or something?
No.
Okay, because I know Dirk was doing a viewing party for AEW, and in like the last 5 minutes, I don't know, maybe he lost connection or I don't know, but
it was on TBS. You don't got cable, do you?
Yes and no.
Oh, okay, got you.
I'm pretty sure I do. I just haven't really accessed it, but yeah, I did watch both shows. I had at NXT on the big TV. There's a fucking hair on my screen. I had NXT on the big TV, right, and then I had AEW playing on my phone. So I was doing a lot of looking.
Yeah, same thing. It was. I mean, tonight was, and I told you earlier today when you came by at the shop. This felt like the fucking Super Bowl today. This felt like a fucking Super Bowl today, and the fact that we had social media going crazy, more announcements being made, and just the fact that, AEW had 11,000 people waiting in their live stream for the buy-in before it actually started, and it had over 51,000 people. That is incredible. I know I'm getting into it already, but that's an incredible number. Not even like big time live streamers who do this for a fucking living rarely get 51K live viewers. It's amazing. Amazing shit. Great night for wrestling.
I mean, I can't shit on that. That is very impressive for AEW.
impressive for anybody. Like,
I mean, yeah, I mean,
that's like top of top tier. You know what I mean? As far as streaming almost.
Yeah, I mean, hats off to him because again, this was a pretty big night for both shows. I mean, AEW, like you said, had that many people waiting for a fucking a match on YouTube, and
by the way, the match wasn't even that good to begin with. I mean,
right.
Suzuki and Kingston. I mean, they had better matches, but tonight's match wasn't great.
Right, and then also you had NXT. You had what is it like, over 1,000 people waiting outside of fucking of the Performance Center.
Yeah, they wait for like 24 hours, smelling like fucking musk and shit. You know what I mean? Guy had his shirt off and stuff. Like, man, take a shower, mate.
Boy. But
I know a Performance Center will smell like some straight up booty, cheeks, and ass, man.
Smells like
with a little bit of Arby's.
Smells like ass and corn chips. Jesus Christ,
man! Like Christ, mate.
Good golly! But for the first time in a long time, I actually took notes.
Oh wow!
For both shows, I used to take notes a lot for, especially like during the pandemic. I would take notes, for shows and just like kind of write out interesting parts, which I think obviously from now on I need to start taking notes, just so I have more description to go off of. But took notes for both shows. Should be a fun one. We have quite a few people in the chat. We got 8 people. We have Merc Ditchell. I'm pretty sure I know who that is. That's Dirk. Espioka Keith. I hope I announced that right. Heckmel82. LT. Louis Mykilla. Ifis Good. Kyle, of course, and BCS. Welcome to the chat room. And hope we can get some more people in. Because there's people.
Yeah, let's get the show going. Let's not waste any time.
All right, let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Tuesday, not Wednesday. It's Tuesday, 9:19 p.m. Central Time, and anyone who just came off of the Tuesday Night Wars with AEW and NXT, we got you covered. We are here, and we're here to cover that shit and more. And welcome to the chat room. Any new faces, any old faces, welcome. And we are here. If anyone doesn't know me, my name is Drew Yari. And with me, as always, is my tag team podcasting partner in crime, or my podcasting partner in crime, if I should say, is...
Yes, it's me, Justin from Spinebuster Tees. Well, actually, that's my website, spinebustertees.com. But the Morning Sun Podcast, live on YouTube every morning, 8:30 a.m. to 10 a.m., live on YouTube.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we got quite a show for you. We got even more people coming in the chat. Welcome, everybody. Roachster and Dwight316. Welcome, people. So, let's just get this shit started. What about you? How do you feel?
Yeah, let's go. Let's get going.
So tonight was NXT. Oh, and AEW. Wednesday or tomorrow, I believe, is just for tomorrow. I don't know if maybe it's going to happen in the future, but tomorrow's the MLB playoffs. So AEW was kind of forced, or not kind of, but were forced to move to Tuesday for just this week. The same night as NXT. So just like the old days during the pandemic era, is we got NXT versus AEW. AEW had a pretty stacked show. They had Title Tuesday, and NXT, WWE doing what WWE usually does, decides to stack the show as well, just for funsies.
No, not this wasn't just for funsies. This was to send AEW a message.
Oh yeah,
this wasn't just for fun. This is not your typical, AEW versus NXT. This felt like the Super Bowl. This felt like life or death. This felt like whoever loses this is going out of business. This is what it felt like tonight, and the anticipation over the last several days with this. The build up to this, with all the pettiness between WWE and AEW, has been great. Tony Khan on X, maybe he's been talking too much, but damn it, it's been entertaining. It's all been great, and I love this. so much that they should do this at least once a year. I mean, indirectly, of course, but next year I want to see something like this again, because this got more eyes and more ears on the wrestling product. There was people who does not watch weekly wrestling anymore of AEW or WWE came out and watched these events tonight. That tells you something. It puts money in both of the company's pockets. It gets more exposure out there. And, at the end of the day, this was just fun, man. This is a lot of people are saying this is probably going to go down one of the biggest nights of the year, which definitely is. But I will go on to say that this is a night in wrestling history that we're going to go back and look on, no matter if it was overhyped or not, because at the end of the day, I thought both shows at the end of the day were good to great. But I think that the hype didn't live up to expectations. Not to say that the shows were bad. Both shows were great. But I didn't think it really lived up to those expectations as we were making it out to be. But it was a super fun night, and I can't wait for us to dig into this.
By not living up to expectations, do you mean do you mean like maybe you wanted more from it, or what do you mean?
So what I mean by that is that on WWE side of things, it was more sizzle rather than the steak, right? None of the matches blew me away. Right? None of the matches were like matches of the year, things of that nature. But everything was really, really good though. Still though, like you had a very good main event. You had, to me, and I'll ask in a little bit here, but to me, what I thought was a fantastic vignette with Brian Pillman Jr. Mm-hmm. It was incredible vignette. Of his motivations and in his name and why he wants to be change his name to the last name King. Like, it's just incredible. On the AEW side of things, like, incredible opening match. You had you had another great match with Jay White and Hangman Page. A damn good main event, and there was some stuff in the middle that was questionable, I will say. But like I said, both shows had its ups, both shows had its downs, but to me, at the end of the day, I think this night of wrestling was great overall, and I think it's good for the business that we saw tonight.
Okay, you make a good point. I think a lot of NXT, and we'll get into NXT, but I'm just going to say this. I think a lot of NXT, kind of what you said, there was a lot of sizzle, which makes sense because a lot of it was built on, hey, look who's here. Hey, look who's here. Hey, look who's here. And that's not to take away from the matches, because the main event was really good. The NXT title match was really good, but a lot of it, I don't want to say it was overshadowed, but the whole show was built more on, hey, Cena's here. Hey, Cody's here. Hey, Taker's here, which we'll get into that. And AEW was more about, we're just going to give you a really good wrestling show. Which, again, not even trashing the show. You're going to be surprised about my take on AEW tonight. So let's get into it. So,
before we get into it, just want to ask one question real quick in the chat. Please participate as well. What was your most anticipated thing coming into tonight's show? What was your most anticipated thing coming to tonight's show? It could have been a rumor of someone, because there was rumors of Mercedes Moné, right? Slight rumors, but she never came out. What was your most anticipated thing coming into tonight's show, Drew?
You mean for AEW or NXT?
That's in general. In general.
Expectations. This is gonna sound like a cop-out answer. I mean, my expectations were just the shows were good. I think with NXT, my expectations were met, even though I had a feeling even though in my head I'm like, what else could they possibly do? But everything kind of seemed like it was answered. It was just like, oh, what's Cena going to do? Okay, Cena did this. What's Heyman going to do? Okay, Heyman did this. Undertaker showed up as the American Badass. Cody came out, as the GM. He was kind of... I know you talked about it in the shop. We were kind of thinking or kind of hoping he might wrestle, but he didn't wrestle.
But he didn't. But again, WWE, they're so good at not necessarily lying, but they build things up, and it's really not as big as they made out to be. They said like the first 30 minutes, is going to show why WWE is superior to AEW. I didn't get that at all. All Cody did was he came out, he announced the men's breakout tournament, which you kind of maybe saw, but we were really talking about the Dusty Cup, which he announced. They announced, "Hey, I'm the GM for tonight," and I was like, "Okay, cool." But, it wasn't as big as they made out to be with the promotion and everything with the tactics behind it. I thought Cody, he did great tonight. But again, at the end of the day, it wasn't as big as we were probably making out to be. And that's probably our fault as well. But WWE, they were saying it's a major announcement. Was it really major? Could they announced it without Cody? Possibly, right? They could announce these things without Cody. But with Cody there, it made just that much better. So, but I think my biggest thing coming into tonight's events was definitely Cody Rhodes. It did not meet my expectations, but I still thought it was good overall for that.
All right. So, do you want to start with NXT or AEW?
We should. I mean, we should really just be talking about the shows back and forth. Like,
okay, all right.
Yeah, I mean, just the shows back and forth. We can start from the beginning and just go back and forth between them because, like, it's I think these guys want to hear our opinions on how we were seeing both shows.
Okay.
Back and forth, but the first thing that happened wasn't NXT. It was the buy-in. Did you happen to catch any of the buy-in at all?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Well, there was over 51,000 people watching.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot of filler. They had RJ City there along with Renee Paquette. And, just talking about the night, saying, hey, this is going to be the biggest night in AEW Dynamite history, which I see what they're saying, and I saw what WWE was saying, this is going to be the biggest NXT of all time. But in reality, this wasn't the biggest Dynamite in AEW history, in my opinion. This wasn't that. It wasn't the biggest NXT in NXT history. It wasn't that at all. I will go on to say that maybe NXT versus AEW the first time around, back on the Wednesday Night Wars, I was to say those were two bigger shows overall.
Right.
I think these were more hyped up. I think those two were the biggest shows overall because it started that foundation of, okay, are these shows, we're going to see what these shows are, who's going to lead, who's not going to lead, and we'll go from there. But, at the end of the day, though, like, it was great. But the buy-in, though, Minoru Suzuki, Eddie Kingston, I'm going to keep it short and sweet because we got a lot to talk about tonight. To me, it didn't live up to, it did live up to expectations, but not in a good way. Like, Minoru Suzuki, he's getting old. I love him, though. Like, I think he's fantastic. He's Death Grandpa. Like, he's gonna, if I ever see him in the alley, he would probably murder me, right? But it was a lot of, rapid, fast chops, things of that nature, a typical strong style match. Eddie Kingston gets the win, of course, because he's not going to lose the Ring of Honor Championship or the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship, but just the fact that there was 51,000 people at one time watching this, rather if you like AEW or not, that is a massive, massive number. And again, live streamers like guys like Kai Cenat on Twitch. If you guys know who Kai Cenat is, probably the most popular streamer in the world right now. He rarely gets that number unless he has like somebody on there like a Drake or like a like an Offset or somebody like that. But big number for AEW, but at the end of the day, it was just hype up for the show. You had one match, and we went straight into Dynamite after that. So,
all right. So let's start with what opened NXT. The show opened with Cody. Cody, of course, getting a big reaction. Place is pretty packed. Cody starts out the night by saying "yeet," which again is funny. The crowd chanted "yeet." Cody, said "yeet" back. Basically to say, I'm here in NXT, I never thought I'd be here, A, B, C, and D. And he says, I'm not only here to make one announcement, I'm here to make two announcements. And the first being the Dusty Classic, which we kind of already figured. Second being that Shawn Michaels has granted him permission to be the special guest.
That wasn't it. The first announcement was the male's breakout tournament.
That we already. That's something we already knew, but like,
But that's what he said though in the promo. He said I have to make an announcement the first. So he said I have a couple announcements to make. First, he said the Males Breakout Tournament. Then he announced the Dusty Cup.
I mean, isn't a couple too? I don't know. But anyways, he had 3 announcements to make. So the Men's Breakout Tournament, the Dusty Classic, and Shawn Michaels granting him to be the special guest GM. Anyways, right when that happens, Dragunov comes out. Apparently it's his birthday. So happy birthday to Dragunov.
Yeah, happy birthday.
He's 30. Yeah, damn, he's barely 30. Then Dom comes out to talk a little bit of shit. Wants the NXT title. Cody makes the match happen, but, tells Dom, I know the numbers game with Judgment Day, so I need a special guest referee. So he makes LA Knight the special guest referee. That's going to happen later in the night. It was already announced that LA Knight was backstage, so yeah. AEW. Let's go to AEW. The show opens with Christian Cage in the production truck, basically hyping up the main event for tonight with Adam Copeland and Luchasaurus, and then tells the guys, start the show, and they start the show. Show opens with Bryan Danielson versus Swerve, number 1 contender for the TNT Championship, or TBS, or is it TBS? No, TNT Championship. This Saturday on Collision against Christian Cage. As we suspected, fantastic match. Swerve is great. Danielson is great. I'm digging that finisher that Swerve has. What's it called? House Call?
House Call, yeah.
I love that. I think that's great. There was a pretty gnarly reverse suplex off the top rope that Danielson did to Swerve. I always think that's amazing how Danielson can pick somebody up and do that off the top rope. Really good back and forth action. Danielson kicks out of the house call. It looks like Swerve is about to cheat to win, but then Page comes out and makes sure that doesn't happen. Danielson ends up getting the win, so I guess we're continuing Swerve versus Page.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
especially what we saw at the end of tonight too. So
right, so Danielson is going to face Christian this Saturday at Rampage. So thoughts about both segments?
So, I already talked about the Cody segment already. I mean, it was, the announcement was there. Good. It was good. And, you also had Dom come out there, too, as well, to establish a match with Ilya Dragunov. Ilya came out there. So, good rub for Ilya and to be in the ring with Cody. I didn't like the idea versus Ilya just because of someone has to lose, but, we'll get to that match. But LA Knight being announced, great. Getting our name on the show. The most popular, over, hottest babyface right now in wrestling is back on NXT. There was rumors that Sol Sikoa was going to be there, but he didn't show up, obviously. So,
yeah, he did.
So yeah, Sol Sikoa.
Yeah, he came on the main event.
I didn't see it.
You didn't see the main event?
I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I honestly didn't see it.
Oh man, but
I didn't see it. I was sorry. I was watching. It was kind of hard to keep up. So we'll circle that bridge.
What was like a blink and you'll miss it type deal? But
yeah, I didn't see it, so that's my bad. So my bad. 2 shows was going on. I guess my attention was more on Edge. So my apologies. But
it's Adam Copeland. It's
whatever. We know who he is, but
corner.
But, yeah, Copeland. But anyway, so I guess Sol Sikoa was there, so I stand corrected. My bad. But regardless, though, of all that, I thought that's thought the segment was good. Then we have Swerve versus Danielson. Great TV match. This match, and remember, both shows were, they had 30 minutes commercial free. AEW went. I think NXT went 29 minutes because I counted. It went to 29 minutes on commercial break. But AEW, they went almost a freaking hour.
I think they did. I think they did go an hour.
I think it was 48 minutes.
Anyone in the chat, fill us in.
I'm sorry?
I was gonna say, anyone in the chat, fill us in.
I think it was 48 minutes because that's when the Tony Storm film was being produced. And they went to commercial segment. Everyone was bitching about that online, but just both opening the segments and matches or whatever you want to call them for on both sides. I thought they were both great. I thought it was both strong starts. You start off with the right match on AEW. You start off with two former WWE guys, rather. I'm sorry. But obviously Danielson's the more known, and you have the number one babyface in the company right now of Cody Rhodes coming out, making his announcement. So I thought strategy was great on both sides, and I'm really wondering what that first quarter rating is going to be for that viewership. So,
all right. Next two matches for both shows. You had Roxanne Perez versus Asuka. Shotzi came out for commentary. Good match. Not particular. I wouldn't say it was great. It was good.
It was short.
Yeah, pretty short. Roxanne. A lot of the match was her just I guess taking Asuka's hits and kicks. She's trying to sell herself as being more aggressive, more of a badass. It's working a little bit. Not sold on it all that well. I mean, I do like Roxanne. I do want to see more of an aggressive side to her, so it remains to be seen. But good match. Asuka got the win, like Justin mentioned. Pretty short match. Afterwards, Kiana James came out for like 2 seconds, and then Roxanne took her out. So, well, not Roxanne, but Shotzi. So that happened. On the AEW side of things, yeah, Jericho versus Hobbs. Pretty surprising how this match went. I mean, I shouldn't say surprising, just kind of given how AEW usually does things. A lot of it was Hobbs dominating, which he should. I even wrote that in my notes. Hobbs dominating as he should, and he's just beating the ever-living piss out of Jericho. And Hobbs got the win, obviously. I mean, my only critique about the match, there's a spot where Jericho has the Walls of Jericho on Hobbs. Hobbs reverses it into... I'm calling it the World's Strongest Slam because that's what it looked like to me, the World's Strongest Slam. And what does Hobbs call it?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Well, I don't even know if it has a name. If it does have a name, someone can put in the chat. But I haven't heard of a name for it.
All right.
I think it's just a front power slam.
Jericho kicks out, which I just kind of groaned. I'm like, why did he need to kick out? And then Hobbs did the slam again and pins him and gets the 3 count, which I'm just like, why couldn't he just get the 3 count the first time? Just little nitpicky things I'm just bitching about. But
I didn't really... I mean, I see what you're saying, but that didn't really bother me.
I mean, whatever. Anyways, Hobbs got the win as he should, because he's fucking Hobbs. He should be dominating Jericho. I mean, Jericho should be doing the JOB for Hobbs. But overall, what'd you think about both matches?
Asuka Roxanne match, short. Good match, but short. Asuka still undefeated in NXT. A lot of people don't remember that she was undefeated in NXT. She had to vacate a title due to injury. So, it was fine. Kiana James is always a plus, right? I love me some Kiana James. And Shotzi being there, saying that she's going to host Halloween Havoc with Scarlett because they're both horror heads. so I guess that's, I mean, they're not part of NXT anymore, but I guess I'm alright with it. But Hobbs and Jericho, another short match, and Hobbs squashes Jericho. I mean, Jericho did get minimum amount of offense in here, but really, this is really just to tell the story of. It really is more to tell the story of with Don Callis that Jericho and Kenny Omega cannot win without Don Callis, and that Jericho made a mistake of not joining the Don Callis family. So I like this story that they're doing with them. I would have liked to seen maybe Kenny come out in some fashion, maybe get destroyed by Hobbs too. That would probably have been okay with me, but beggars can't be choosers. So, but yeah, I thought both were fine. I think both of them were the weaker matches of the night. Not to say that they were bad, but at the same time, I thought they were both. I thought they both did a job and both got their point across.
Is Kenny hurt?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah,
I haven't seen news on it or reporting any news on it on the show, so I don't think so.
because he wasn't on the show all night, and I would think that they'd put one of their biggest or one of their main event guys on the show.
No, I mean the Young Bucks wasn't on there. You didn't have. I mean, well, we know what happened with FTR, but yeah, there was no Young Bucks. There was no Kenny. I mean, now everyone has time to be on the show.
Oh no, and I'm just saying because like it was a big night, so you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah, I get you.
Kind of figured they would put the elite on the show, but
I mean, then that means someone else would have to be taken off the show. Then there's gonna be people bitching online like, "Oh, Young Bucks is on the show. They don't need to be on the show." And
right,
so yeah. So I thought it was fine. I mean, if Tony Khan didn't find a place with them on the show, it must have been a reason. And I thought what Tony Khan did on the show wasn't perfect per se, but I thought he put the right people and the necessary people on the show.
Right? Yeah, you're not wrong. Let's see. So next is on the NXT side of things, you have the Pub Rules match with Tyler Bate and the Brawling Brutes versus what is Joe Coffey's group called again?
Gallus.
There you go. I'm sorry. And on the AEW side of things, you had a segment with Adam Cole at Roderick Strong's place, and then you had the International Championship with Felix and Cassidy. Let's get to the Pub Rules match. A fun match. People seem to be into it. I mean, it was kind of what you thought it was. It was just a lot of carnage and calamity with both teams.
Gimmick spots using with the gimmick weapons that was on ringside. So.
Mm-hmm. Pete Dunne stabbing Joe Coffey in the hand with a dart, even though he didn't really stab him. What is it? Tyler Bate throwing a bowling ball at a trash can that one of the guys are in. And, Bate and the Brawling Brutes got the win after throwing one of the guys through a table. So, entertaining match. Again, kind of a typical, street fight match. A lot of gimmicks, as you said, but it happened.
Similar to the Viking Rules match as well that happened on Raw. So,
right.
Instead of a Viking ship, it was a pub. But I thought both of them were great. So, very fun match. Very chaotic carnage. What you expect to see. I think Gallus is underrated. I mean, I get why people don't like him because of their, they may be a little bit dull and boring, which I totally get. But when that bell rings, man, they can go, and they showed it tonight. So,
right, they're very talented. I need to see more of them, but that's just me. All right, AEW. The segment with Cole and Roderick, the International Championship match. Was that a short match? Because I feel like I just looked at the screen and looked back up and then looked down and then it was just done.
For what match?
The Felix and Cassidy match.
It didn't feel too short, no. It didn't feel too. I mean, it wasn't long, but but I wouldn't call it necessarily short either.
Right, because I went to the restroom with my phone because I was watching AEW on my phone, and I literally
you're taking a number 2.
Well, I mean, I did have a spicy chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A and some nuggets, so they came back.
System out,
Yeah, they came back up. So I tried, Justin. Listen to me. I tried to watch the match. I tried to pay attention for tonight's sake. But I literally felt like I just looked up and looked back at the screen and the match was over, and I just see Tony Storm pretending to drive a car.
I mean, I can look it up and see how long the match actually was, but I wouldn't say it was a short match. It wasn't long either, but I definitely don't think it was short.
Anyways, who won?
Also, Orange Cassidy won. He's a new TNT champion. Oh, I'm sorry, international champion.
Of course he is.
It was good. I liked it.
Right.
I mean, I know you're not the biggest Orange Cassidy guy, but I keep telling people I understand if you don't like the gimmick, but when that bell rings and when he starts, when he gets past the shtick, the guy could go in the ring. And Ray Phoenix is Ray Phoenix too as well. So again, it wasn't legendary or anything like that, but I thought it was a fairly decent TV match, but. It looks like the match went. Let's see. Match probably went maybe about like probably 10 minutes.
Okay. Moving on. Let's see. We had a Becky Lynch, Tara Valkyra vignette, which was really good. Kind of felt like something you'd see on Real Sports. Becky and Valkyra.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It was a vignette just talking about their past, about how Becky was at her school, was at her wrestling school in 2018, and they they came from the same background, obviously same country. Kind of felt like a promo package you'd see on like Real Sports.
Yeah.
It was really good. So Tegan Nox came and talked to Valkyra and just told her, I almost had Becky beat, so I think your match should be put on hold. And Valkyra's like, listen, with all due respect, you lost. You couldn't get the job done. This is my shot. So they're going to have a match next week on NXT. I guess
totally fine with that. Again, and this is on NXT, but what I've been mentioning too as well is that Raw, especially last night, they've been using all the women, and even if it's for like 10-15 seconds, they're using the women, and that's how you are able to get more women featured on the show. And also in the process as well, you'll start to let these casual fans, start to get more acquainted with them. So, and that's something that I actually talked about on my podcast earlier this morning. So, but I thought that was a good little vignette with Becky Lynch and Lara Valkyria.
Right. On the AEW side of things, like I mentioned, Toni Storm was pretending to drive a car for some reason.
They had it in a picture-in-picture. So
no.
So yeah. let me kind of like backtrack a little bit. So they went to their first commercial break, and I believe it was at 7:48 Central Standard Time, and a lot of people were pissed off because they want to see this Toni Storm vignette, and it was picture-in-picture, but. Little did we know it was actually supposed to be a silent movie. So it had music. But it was supposed to be a silent movie. So a lot of people didn't really see it, and they did another picture-in-picture vignette again later on the show. So I just thought it was terrible timing with that. If at all times to go to commercial break, you decide to go on the Toni Storm segment with your hottest woman on the roster, I would have gave that full attention on the show itself. I would have put something else in picture-in-picture. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they could have had a match going on during that time and going in picture-in-picture. I don't know. They could have moved some stuff around, but I get what Tony Khan was doing. I understand it, but to me, in execution, it didn't fit. And also because, like I said, Toni Storm is your hottest woman in AEW right now. I thought she should have had the full attention, the full screen experience, but what do I know? You know what I mean? I'm not back there in the company to know the analytics behind it.
Right. Next is you had Wardlow come out for a squash match. Beats a local jobber and exits through the crowd, which I think is...
local jobber was Evan Bourne.
That was Evan Bourne?
Yeah, it was Matt Sydal, yeah.
Holy fuck.
He's relegated to local jobber now? Like, he doesn't have his name no more?
I literally did not know that was Matt Sydal.
Yeah, that was Matt Sydal, yeah.
So he beats local jobber Matt Sydal. No, he beats Matt Sydal and leaves through the crowd, which, that's interesting.
It was like a 50-second match, if that.
Yeah. Local jobber, people. Matt Sydal. So after which, on the NXT side of things, John Cena came out to address the crowd, talk about tonight, talk about his relationship with Melo. And then Braun comes out to talk a little bit of shit, of course. The crowd is chanting Braun Breaker sucks, but in the style of how they do Cena's song, which was kind of funny. Cena just tells him straight up, like, you're very talented, but I don't like your attitude. And he tries to shake his hand, wish him good luck, and Braun, instead of shaking his hand, hits him, goes for a spear. Cena tries to go for an AA, Braun gets out, and that's it. On the AEW side of things, you had Hangman Adam Page versus Jay White. Jay White coming out with the Bullet Club Gold, who come out on, big wheels?
Yeah, like tricycles.
So
I didn't get that. I know if that was a shot towards Undertaker, maybe, but I don't know.
I guess.
I didn't get that. I love the Bullet Club Gold, but that kind of went over my head. So maybe someone in the chat can say what happened, but that kind of went over my head there.
I guess. But the Adam Page and Jay White match. I'll say this. I'll be positive. I thought it was a good match. I thought it was a really good match, really good back and forth action. Regardless of how I feel about Page personally, the guy can go. The guy is capable of going in there and having a good match. Jay White, has grown on me. I think he's really good. These two kind of seem to match up pretty well. I think Page is a little bit more, I would say a little bit more beefier than White. White's a little, not thin, but, thinner than Page. I'll just say that. Little long. The match was a little long because there was a point where I'm looking down on my screen. I'm like, this match is still going on. But that, again, just little nitpicky things that I do. I believe it was Prince Nana who came out and tried to cause a distraction. But, he did cause a distraction.
He came out.
I have it in my notes.
Attack his crown, yeah.
Have it in my notes, I'm sorry. Distracts Page. White gets the win with a roll-up. Afterwards, I didn't hear the promo because I had the NXT Championship match on. But I know he did a promo with MJF. So I already did my
promo
piece.
took fucking forever, man.
Seemed like it.
It took that. That's probably one of the most. And I gotta go back and I'm gonna watch it tomorrow at the shop in full.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it was a great promo, but it took on shows like this, on tonight's like this. You got to get to your points quicker. It has to be rapid pace. And even at the beginning of the show, I didn't mention this. I thought AEW, with the whole Christian promo at the beginning, I love Christian, but was that needed? I don't think that was necessarily needed at the beginning of the show. Then they had the full AEW Dynamite opening. I didn't think that was needed either. So, there were some things that AEW could have done better to get from segment to segment quicker. I'm sure the promo was great. I'm going to probably watch tomorrow. I was like, man, this was a really damn good promo. But it needed to get to the point quicker. It felt like it was just it overstayed its welcome. So, but yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I just don't overstay its welcome at the end of the day for that.
You're definitely not wrong. But, so you'd actually hear the promo that he said?
I heard parts of it. I heard the end with Juice Robinson with the quarters, the roll full of quarters. It's a callback to MJF being bullied at school and getting hit with a fistful of quarters by bullies. And so here's the thing about that. It's very insensitive.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Because of what's going on right now in Israel. So
he shouldn't have said it.
I know. Look. I know that they did not mean what they mean, but since MJF is Jewish, I think because I gotta watch the promo back, but I didn't hear the word Jew or anything in the promo.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe someone can correct me, but I didn't hear the word Jew in the promo. And again, I was watching NXT at the same time, so forgive me. But if Jew wasn't said in the promo, then I guess I won't say it's okay, but I can see forgiveness a little bit in that. But it's also kind of like with whenever they had the guy at the AEW pay-per-view earlier this year, I think it was may have been Forbidden Door with the blackface singing Wild Thing. Remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that was the right pay-per-view or not, but it's kind of the same thing. A little insensitive. This is insensitive as well. So, hey man, they probably could have. I don't know. They could say. I mean, even saving for next week is. The event is still going to be going on in Israel most likely. So it's I don't know, but I gotta go back watch the promo and analyze it again. So
yeah, if that's true, I mean, Juice, read the room, dude. Come on. But
I'll say. Well, here's the thing too. You may not know this because I know you don't watch New Japan, but he did use a roll of quarters in New Japan. When he so it's not something. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not out of nowhere, right? It was actually part of his gimmick in New Japan when he used a roll full of quarters when he was in the Bullet Club.
Right, but at the same time, it's like, if that's part of his gimmick, okay, but you know what I mean? Like, MJF, said the promo about, people hitting him with rollers quarters and telling him pick up that quarter.
I think that was more the thing. I don't really think it was it. I don't know. I gotta go back and watch it again in full, and that's all I gotta say. I gotta go back and watch it in full, okay. But I will say, we'll leave off this point here. He did have Friedman on the roll quarters as well. So I think it was really for him, like to get under his skin, not because he's a Jew. You know what I mean? So I think there's going to be a lot of people who's looking at it too far. Again, you got to read the room, totally get it. And you got to be a little bit more sensitive to topics like that. But I don't think that that's what they meant. Obviously, that's not what they meant going into that promo segment. But the way it came out and the way it came off was more like, okay, well, there's a lot of shit happening in Israel right now with Jewish people. So I don't know. I'll have to see and kind of see the promo again and kind of make my own determination. If you guys didn't see the promo, wait for it. It should be on YouTube later tonight or tomorrow morning. Watch it in full and make your own determination. So that's all I gotta say.
What was your thoughts on the Cena promo?
This is what I was saying. Like, this is more sizzle than steak. This is just sizzle here.
Okay.
It was just a tat, and it worked. Not to say it was a bad promo. It worked. Would you rather see MJF and going up against the Bullet Club Gold, or would you rather see John Cena versus Braun Breaker? A lot of the casuals are going to pick Cena. As great as MJF is, a lot of people are going to pick Cena in that point in time. So, But again, it was just sizzle. It was just talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. They had that face to face with Braun Breaker and John Cena, which is probably going to lead to something later down the road. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Right. All right. Next is we had the NXT Championship match. You had Ilya Dragunov versus Dominic. And on the AEW side of things, you had the AEW Women's Championship, Saraya versus Shida. NXT Championship, you had LA Knight as the special guest referee. Still had his vest on over his referee attire, and he still had his sunglasses on the whole time, which I thought was funny. The fans getting into it, of course, chanting "yeah," and then LA Knight pointing to the crowd, "yeah." Didn't really take away from the match too much. The match is actually still pretty really good. I mean, Ilya makes everybody look good. I wouldn't say this was better than Dom's match with Dragon Lee, but it was still pretty good. Probably better than the match he had with Williams, so I would say maybe it's the second best match. I'll say that. My only, again, criticism, you gotta be critical. Dom needs to get better at selling. I don't know if this is just me that noticed this. I don't know if you noticed this, but Dom needs to improve his selling. He's not terrible, but he really needs to improve it. Like, when he's getting chopped, he needs to act like he's getting chopped. Like, he can't look like he's, like, shaking and doesn't know what to do.
Okay.
I mean, it's just my opinion. I mean, he doesn't need to be Shawn Michaels, but just he needs to improve his selling a little bit. But that's just me. But
yeah, gotcha.
Still really good match. Judgment Day come out. LA Knight takes out Finn, like, really quick. Hey, Maurice. Takes out JD McDonough. And whatchamacallit, Rhea tries to do the old thing that happened last week where she gets the belt and tries to hit Ilya. Ilya ducks, and Trick Williams grabs her from the post and holds her. And Rhea just goes, "What the hell are you doing?" And Ilya gets the win. He's still the NXT champion. So yeah, we got that going. On the AEW side of things, you have the Women's Championship, like I just mentioned, with Saraya and Shida. Match felt a little too long, but again, that kind of seems like how I feel about most AEW matches. But nonetheless, not a terrible match, not a great match. I'll just say it was a decent match. I'll just put it that way. Saraya, just, you know, when she came back, she's just, in my opinion, she has not been that good. I
disagree with you. As far as the match itself, I think it was fantastic. And it was women's match of the year, but I thought this was Saraya's best match in AEW. I thought this was her best match, and I think Shida. I'm not the biggest fan of Shida, I'll admit, but I thought she did a damn good job in this match as well. So, it was a good match. It was very good, very good.
Shida's good. It's just that I don't think they know what to do with her. You know,
what do you mean? She's a fucking 3-time women's champion. What do you mean?
Yeah, and you want to know an interesting fact that's actually the first time you told me she was a 3-time women's champion, because they don't make her feel like she's a 3-time women's champion. When she was champion during the pandemic, she felt, I won't say she felt big, but you know, she felt like something. Second championship reign, because it was just like a couple months ago when she won the fucking title the second time. Didn't really feel it. Now we'll see what happens with this third title reign. But I will say this: I don't like it that she's a champion a third time already. That I will say. But at the end of the day, you know, Saraya, she was trying to answer questions when she won championship. Hey, you're going to be wrestling in singles matches more. This tells me that she's not, because she ain't champion no more. What are they going to do with Saraya? There was a rumor that possibly maybe, you know, Mercedes Moné was going to come out here. She did not. Maybe that's being saved for Full Gear in Los Angeles, which is, you know, probably like her second home. But I don't know. But with Shida being champion again, I will say this: I'm not hating it, but at the same time, it's like, why did we take the title off Shida in the first place? Oh yeah, it's because we wanted to have a moment in Wembley for Saraya. Get it, got it. So, you know, AEW, Tony Khan is in his Vince McMahon bag, and he's making moments just to make moments. And when things don't make sense, you gotta think about the long term of your division, and clearly the women's division in AEW is the weakest. I don't know if Mercedes is gonna save it. I doubt it. I seriously doubt that she's gonna save it. And I love Sasha Banks. I love Mercedes. She's fucking great. She's gonna have a match with Julia soon, so that's gonna be great to watch. But in the grand scheme of things, who is Mercedes gonna feud with on AEW if she comes in? You got Shida, you got possibly Jamie Hayter, you know, you got Ruby, but a lot of these other women's, you know, green. You know, love Julia Hart. I think she's improved tremendously. I think she's really awesome with her whole gimmick. But she's green. She ain't ready for no fucking Mercedes, right? You know what I mean? So you have a very narrow women's division, and I don't think that Mercedes coming in is going to save anything for his women's division. So putting the title back on Shida, okay, cool. But who's she going to feud against? There's really no real division that she can really go up against. Willow Nightingale, yes. Chris Statlander, no, because Chris Statlander is a TBS champion. It's like, it's slim pickings, so I don't know. Nonetheless, we have a new AEW Women's Champion, so let's see how they push her this time. Maybe third time's a charm. But overall, what'd you think about the NXT Championship match?
Well, good match. I mean, it wasn't fantastic or anything. To your point, thought Dominic and Dragon Lee had a better match overall, but it was a serviceable TV match. But again, I just don't know why. I get why tonight was, everything was off limits tonight. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if The Rock would have came out there and Stone Cold came out there and stunned The Rock. Anything was up for anything at this fucking point in time. So, but I just didn't like Dom losing. Why would we book ourselves into a corner when you're going to have one of your champions losing? Your champion should not be losing a match, no matter who it is, unless if it's for the title itself. That's always going to be my line of thinking. Your champion should not be losing matches unless it's for the title itself. So, if they would have done champion versus champion, that would be even more stupid. But good match. Not taking away from the match, just the questioning of the booking of the match. That's the only thing I have to question. But, I digress.
All right. Afterwards, Corbin came out to confront Ilya, and then Dijak attacked Ilya from behind and told Corbin he's mine. Later, which Corbin went to GM or special GM Cody Rhodes, wanted a championship match, and Cody told him, you certainly deserve it, but Dijak made a statement, so next week you're going to be a triple threat with you and Dijak and the winner of the main event to determine who will face Ilya for the title. After which, Jade Cargill showed up in a nice, was it a limousine or SUV?
SUV, yeah.
With Shawn Michaels greeting her. So
my God, mate, chocolate milk is fresh.
Got that right, and I'll just keep it at that. Next match, you had Lola Vibes versus Danny Palmer in the Breakout Women's Tournament. I wrote lots of cake in this match. I'll just leave it at that. Both are very good. Vice, it seems like, it looks like they want to make her into something. She is very talented. She has a look, very much so. Danny Palmer, I thought was more impressive in this match, just my opinion.
Yeah. She's super athletic.
Mm-hmm. Do you know her background?
I want to say gymnast of some sort. Oh, let me look it up real quick as you keep talking.
But yeah, good match. I think it was, to my knowledge, it was pretty short. Not like short, but like maybe under 10 minutes. Because I think they might have went to break. Or no, they went to break after Vice did her entrance. Right. But overall, decent match for the time they had. Vice got the win as I expected. Palmer, again, not trying to sound perverted here. I'm actually saying this from a athletic perspective. I want to see more of her. I think she's very impressive, and I think she has a future. But Vice got the win. She moves on in the Breakout Women's Tournament. Now we're down to the last two segments of the night for both NXT and AEW.
But before we get into that, I couldn't find anything on Danny Palmer. I was just typing real quick, but Tony Khan said he had to make a special announcement. He put that on Twitter. I don't know if you saw that or not. Say he was going to make a special announcement, and this was like during the Hangman. Who the fuck came in? Oh, Jay White match. I'm getting mixed up with names because there was so much going on tonight. But so I don't know. Did you see that on Twitter? They say he was going to make a special announcement.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Well, a special announcement was that coming to Wednesday Night Dynamite, the biggest toy giveaway in pro wrestling history, over 50,000 AEW toys donated to Toys for Tots, over $1 million in toys, thanks to our partners at Jazzware, CBS, and all the fans who make this possible. So he's going to be giving away a lot of 50,000 toys for Tots. So I don't know if he needed to go out there. I mean, he didn't go out there, but I didn't know if he needed to go on Twitter and say he needs to make a big announcement. I understand why he says that, but he says I have a very important announcement coming soon. So I get it. But at the end of the day, though, it's really cool that they are, donating toys, for children in need. So, because there's a lot of children, out there during the holiday season that doesn't have a Christmas. So 50,000, that goes a long way.
Yeah, can't shit on charity. Good on Tony. So I looked up Danny Palmer as you were talking. She's new. She's new.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know she's new, but I just forget where her background is.
I can't find shit. She got her training last year at the Performance Center. That's literally it. As far
she
as
has to have some type of background or something. She didn't come in through. She didn't come in through the NIL program.
I think that's it. Yeah.
So usually in the NIL program, they have to have some type of background. Oh yeah, she a gymnast. Yeah, I got it here. Yeah.
She's
usually if they are in wrestling, if they come to WWE and they're in wrestling for like less than a year and they're doing a freaking backflip off the top rope, they're in some type of gymnastics. They gotta be, or cheerleading. They gotta be.
Yeah, she's very impressive from what I've seen. So, all right, NXT. Before the main event, we had the formerly known Brian Pillman Jr. vignette where he talks about his father saying, "I didn't have warm memories of my father. My father died when I was 4. I ain't nobody's junior. So from here on out, I will be known as King." Alex King, I believe. Well, he didn't say Alex, and he just said King. But the rumor is that he'll go by Alex King, which is
Alexis King.
Alexis King, there you go, which is a combination of his sister, Sexy Lexi Pillman, who she passed away, right?
Sexy Lexi Pillman?
That's what they called her. Or just
okay.
Lexi. Or just Lexi.
Like, I wouldn't say that about her with someone that passed away.
Okay, yeah, that was bad. I'm sorry. So Lexi Pillman, but that's what they called her. I'm sorry. But Lexi Pillman, who's a sister who passed away, how long, when did she pass away? Like a few years ago, or?
Yeah, I believe so. I don't know the exact date, but yeah, it's been a couple years for sure.
And King, who's King?
It is his. Well, he says the man that raised him, but I believe that is his mother's maiden name, and his other sister, who is I believe Skylin King. So,
she died in 2009. That's what Kyle said.
Okay, so it's been more than a few years. So okay,
but
here's the thing. I thought the vignette was incredible. In fucking incredible. You can tell that it came from the heart. You can tell that, just the 90 seconds that he was given, he showed more charisma, and his story, to me right now, he's my most anticipated guy coming into NXT for a while. So that's gonna be for a long time. So we'll see how he does. But to me, this was my favorite thing of the night. Out of everything tonight, this was my favorite thing because it was real to him, and it's just how the whole production behind it and what he said, and you could tell it meant everything to him. You could tell it was kind of like a shoot to him. You know what I mean? So it was just incredible. But that's number one. But also number two, the name. Alexis King. A lot of fans on social media are like, change his name. It's, to me, at the end of the day, it's like WWE, they trademark everything. You gotta understand that WWE is a business. They're not going to be able to trademark Brian Pillman Jr. They want to own everything, so they're going to own Alexis King. Right? We got over, from Walter going to Gunther. We got over that. We got over the Braun Breaker. We got over the Finn Balor and the Antonio Cesaro changing to Cesaro, and then Alexander Rusev going to Rusev. Got over all of that. So I think it's going to be the same thing with Alexis King at the end of the day.
Right. I mean, we talked about it. I mean, I've always said with new names, originally I always roll my eyes. I'm like, why? But at the end of the day, it makes sense. I really did like the vignette like you did, because it, like you said, it was short, sweet, and to the point. It made sense. It wasn't just him yelling into the camera. Like, he was passionate.
It explains why he's changing his name as well. He's like, hey, I am Brian Pillman Jr., but I'm going to change my name because of this, and that. Like, fucking incredible. I thought it was just, wow, perfect.
Chef's kiss. We got RJ on. What's up, RJ?
What's going on, guys? What's going on, chat?
What's up, RJ?
How's everybody doing tonight?
Can't hear you that well, man.
I got these shitty headphones in.
Oh, wait. All right, well, RJ gets situated. Let's talk about the main event. So the main event for NXT, as we all know, was Carmelo Hayes versus not John Cena, but Carmelo Hayes versus Braun Breaker. Hayes had Cena in his corner. Braun Breaker had Paul Heyman in his corner. And on the AEW side of things, you had Christian come out to cut the promo about Adam Copeland, Edge, whatever you want to call him. Basically doing the typical heel thing of like, you're not my friend because of A, B, C, and D. Telling Adam, you come back to me wanting to restart the team again, but where were you 3 years ago when I wanted to restart the team? Or at least I think he said something like that.
Right.
And you're getting pushed to the moon. I got pushed aside. So now that now your career's taking a nosedive, my career's on the rise, and you need me, but I don't need you. And then talking about his family, telling Beth, she needs a real man. You should get the sheets ready because Daddy's coming home. Then Copeland comes out to try and chase off Christian Cage, but he gets out of the ring. The whole match, Christian is just sitting at top on the chair watching the match. Decent match with Luchasaurus and Copeland.
Yeah.
Copeland can go. Copeland Edge likes having his long matches, like as we should all be predisposed to. As we talked about, NXT, I think had like a 10-minute overrun.
They had an 8-minute overrun. I think it actually went off by 9:09 to be exact.
Mm-hmm.
Then AEW had they went over the 10-minute overrun. I think let me see, it went over. I think it went by 14 minutes. I want to say. Let me see what Mr. Sean Ross said because I saw the tweet. Yeah, the AEW went off air at 10:14 Eastern time. So 14 minutes.
Yeah, I was about to say it had to go a long time because he was balling a long time.
All right. But, decent match. Edge gained the win with the spear, of course. And then we'll flip-flop. But going back to the NXT match, you had Hayes and Breaker. Good match, as usual. These two know how to work. These two know how to work together, as I should say. Cena and Heyman were a little ineffective. I think, kind of like how Justin has been saying the whole night. They were basically there for the sizzle, not really the steak. And like Justin mentioned earlier with Solo did come out for maybe like a few seconds, and then John Cena.
I saw it as we were talking. It was barely 10 seconds. So
yeah,
my 10 seconds was focused on AEW. I'm assuming so.
Yeah, like I said, it was one of those like blink and you'll miss it type things. So, Melo eventually got the win with his finisher. Afterwards, Braun speared him and got on the mic saying, "I'm the biggest badass here in NXT. I'm the biggest badass in the WWE." All of a sudden, you hear the gong, and it's Taker with the American Badass shtick. Comes into the ring, gets in Braun's face, and tells him, "Listen, boy." Or no, Braun says, "What do you want, old timer?" And then Taker, says, "Listen, you're special. You're really good, but not tonight." And then chokeslams his ass. It's pretty impressive. It's nice seeing Taker being able to still pick somebody up. I'll just say that.
Well, no, Braun jumped high as shit, and Taker just put his arm up. That's all that was.
It's still impressive. But afterwards, Taker celebrated and gave the nod to Melo, and that's how NXT went off the air. But what are your guys' thoughts on both matches, both segments? What do you think?
You got it, RJ. Go for it.
Thought Copeland looked good, and I thought that Luchasaurus kept up with him as much as he could. He didn't try to do too much, but Copeland was out to show that he's a madman and that he can still go. So props to him for that. And a good showing. And as far as Melo and Braun, like you said, their chemistry is so good, and they can't really miss. And I thought Taker, giving a little bit of a nod to both Melo and Braun was pretty good.
Yeah, that's gonna mean something years from now with Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes being in the ring with Taker and getting the acknowledgement and getting the rub. That's gonna. That little, 2-3 minutes that we got there is going to do wonders for their career. They just don't know it yet. But the match overall between Braun and Melo, I mean, these guys are gonna be a fight forever feud. It's gonna be like Randy and Cena. Shawn and Brett. You know what I mean? Kevin and Sammy. This is gonna be the fight forever feud in the next, for the next 10 to 15 years. So, which I'm down for. But good match overall for that. Melo gets the win, so now he's in that triple threat match next week. I'm assuming he's going to be number one contender again. And on the AEW side of things, Edge and Luchasaurus, it was a fun match. I thought this was a very good statement match from Adam Copeland on what the type of matches that he wants to do in AEW. If this is a standard match, then I'm very much so looking forward to what he's going to be doing on this run. As long as he's safe doing it, but, it was a safe match, some people probably think, oh my god, he's trying to do too much, but at the end of the day, he didn't really do anything that was unsafe, right. Per se. It was a standard wrestling match, there was a little bit of, caution spots, but outside of that, I thought both matches were good. I thought that the brawl at the end with all the intertwining storylines with the Embassy, with Swerve, with Hangman, just everything intertwined with each other at the very end. I thought it all melted together pretty well, and I thought the show ended pretty well off the air. So
yeah, I'll agree. I thought AEW had a pretty solid show tonight. I'll be the first one to admit they were pretty solid tonight. The good stuff was good, like I usually say, and the stuff I thought was meh. But there was kind of maybe a few meh things on the show, in my opinion. And of course NXT, and like Justin said, a lot of sizzle, but still a pretty solid show for NXT.
So let me ask this, and in the chat as well, you could participate, obviously. What was your match of the night, your moment of the night, and what do you think the total viewership is going to be for NXT and for AEW? Drew, go first, or RJ go first?
You go first, RJ.
So match of the night, moment of the night, and viewership prediction.
I like Swerve and Bryan a lot. I went back and I saw it.
Yeah,
really good stuff. Love that match. Moment of the night would be Taker giving the nod to Braun and Melo. And as the viewership goes, I think AEW 900,000. I think that NXT will barely crack 1 million.
Very close. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Match of the night, I'll say. I'm gonna go with RJ on this. I thought Swerve and Danielson had a really good match. I thought they had the best match out of both shows. I'm biased because I love Danielson in anything, so I'm gonna give that match the match of the night from both shows. Moment of the night, obviously Taker coming out, giving the nod to Braun and Melo. Like Justin says, in a few years that's going to mean a lot more to them than what they think it is. So that was a big moment. As far as like ratings predictions, I think NXT is going to barely crack 1 million. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they got like 970, 980. AEW, I'm gonna say rough anywhere between maybe 800, 850.
Okay. So I think we all agree on match of the night. The Danielson Swerve match was incredible, and it really helped because it was commercial free as well. So that also helped into that. So that was match of the night. My moment of the night, yes, Taker. I put it up there, but I'm going with that Brian Pillman vignette. I really think that vignette, in the grand scheme of things, is going to mean not a lot more than Undertaker, but it's gonna like, to me right now that means more in the moment, because how he like the emotion of the promo, how he explained, why he's changing his name. You know what I mean? And just the whole hype and building the intensity of the promo. I thought that was really good. And viewership, I got AEW 800. I'm gonna say 810,000 for AEW. NXT 1.2 million.
Oh,
Okay.
1.2 million. I really think that Cena, Cody, now LA Knight's on the show and Taker being there, that rumor, I really think it brought some of those casuals on over, because WWE was promoting the fucking living shit out of this show.
yes.
And and I really think that you get little Johnny, little Bimmy and Jimmy, like, hey mom, hey, can I watch NXT tonight? I know I can only watch one wrestling show a week, but I really want to watch NXT because Cena's going to be there, and you're going to get, Paul Heyman's going to be there, and Cody's going to be there, and maybe Undertaker's going to be there. I haven't seen Undertaker in a long time. That's going to get the little casuals to come and watch the show, and I think they may get close to 400,000 people. That's asking a lot, but maybe close to 400,000 people coming on over and watching it. And also, as I mentioned earlier, you got fans who stopped watching wrestling for one reason or another, came back to watch AEW versus NXT tonight. So that's my opinion, though.
Right. I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, this night did kind of unite the community in a positive way. I mean,
It was incredible. I mean,
you had negatives. You had negatives, of course, but
it was more negative than positive. Trust me, man, it was more negative than positive, man.
Tribalism at its finest.
Jesus Christ, man! Like, just enjoy it, man. Like, you can prefer one or the other. Like, obviously, NXT is my favorite wrestling show right now. It's not the best wrestling show, but it's my favorite. But yeah, man. Like, at the end of the day, though. I mentioned this earlier, RJ. I don't know if you're listening or not. Today was like the fucking Super Bowl. Like you had the Public Enemies podcast tweeting out like at 8 a.m. Wake up, everyone! It's NXT versus AEW tonight. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So and I want to see this at least once a year. Big shows like this get the community talking. And just start that anticipation. I really want to see this again next year, for sure.
I think we're getting it again in December, according to somebody on Twitter. December the 5th.
It's not gonna be. It's not gonna be as big. I don't think it's gonna be as big.
I think you should do it once a year.
I think once a year. I mean, once a year as far as stacking the shows, you can still have NXT versus AEW, but as far as stacking the shows like this, I only want to see it once a year. If they do it again now, if they do it again in December, if it's somehow is bigger than this, I don't know what WWE can. I mean, I know what WWE can do. They can fucking put Roman Reigns on the fucking show and have the Rock show, and they have the Rock show up or something like that. You know what I mean? Or have like a fucking World Championship match like Seth Rollins versus Ilya Dragunov. Some crazy shit. Title versus title. Like, just do some crazy unnecessary shit. You know what I mean? They could do something like that, but I just don't see it, personally.
All right. But that was the night. That was the great Tuesday Night Wrestling War, and hopefully we get to see it again on a scale such as this. We really don't have any news. The only news topic we do have is something me and Justin were talking about in the shop earlier. So, and we'll just end it like this. So there's a rumor going around that Patrick Clark, formerly known as Velveteen Dream, was apparently at a rehabilitation facility at the Performance Center for the WWE, which was immediately debunked by Fightful Select, by sources with WWE. Patrick Clark just shared on his Instagram story, I am not in a rehabilitation facility, nor have I visited Orlando, Florida, the WWE Performance Center, or any WWE events or facilities. I encourage all wrestling media and platforms to highlight the women and men who put together awesome weekly television, and not waste time publishing and pushing false narratives and fake news about me. I haven't contributed anything to your line of entertainment in years. Please do better and use your platforms to showcase the bright and prominent future that is professional wrestling. Peace, love, be wild. Thoughts?
None.
I thought that was weird. The timing of that was weird.
I mean, I'll be talking about this tomorrow. So I mean, but as of right now, really no thoughts. But I kind of lied. I will say this at the end of the day. Velveteen Dream, I think he got, the short end of the shit stick. You know what I mean? I mean, he was, or still is, a little bit out there or whatnot, but, like, I guess it wasn't proven true that the girl or whatnot, that he was talking to wasn't real, so I don't know, but, and also as well, like we're watching earlier in the shop, Drew, that Mansoor and Mace when they were talking about like, hey, we didn't say anything about fucking Riddle and Gunther. We didn't say anything about that. You know what I mean? They had to fucking call Sean Ross Shep live on stream to talk about that. So yeah, wrestling news outlets, guys. Take it with a grain of salt. With the news that you do get, is up to you if you want to believe it or not. But always utilize your resources.
So
Yeah, I
Go
agree with that. We can't be taking guys seriously like this for time. People take guys like Sap and BWE and all these other guys who just have nameless and faceless sources as the gospel, and it fucking irks me. Velveteen Dream, it's sad the way his career ended. But I just can't see them bringing him back in any type of capacity.
Mm-mm.
I sort of disagree. I don't think he wants to, I mean, from what it sounds like, I don't think he wants to come back. But I think everyone deserves a second chance. I kind of mentioned this earlier to Drew in the shop, like fucking, Snuka fucking killed his, girlfriend and was still at a job, and Vince McMahon cover up for him or whatnot. So you had so guys get second chances, but I don't know if he wants to come back. At least from that post, it sounds like he just wants to be out of the spotlight for a while. And he's still super young. It's not like he's like 38 or anything like that. It's like
he's younger than I am.
You know what I mean? So.
But I just think with the culture and
right
where we at in society, I don't
right.
think they ever do anything with that because we're in cancel culture. And they listen to that kind of stuff. The WWE kind of buttons back on that stuff, but at the same time, they kind of fold in certain instances as well. So, you mean to tell me they didn't want to release Travis Banks and all those other guys from the NXT UK, but they did.
Travis Banks, oh god.
So like they try to push back on some of that stuff, but they kind of fold in certain instances as well. So I just can't see it. But then again, if you're right and he doesn't want to be in the business anymore, power to him. Hope he keeps his nose clean, literally and figuratively, and he has a better life for himself.
All right. Last thing, I know I said we're going to close it out, but last thing, so there is backlash on the MJF promo with Juice Robinson. People are not loving it. I know Brian Last from Cornette's podcast, he talked about it. He says pretty disgraceful for AEW to do an angle promo built around anti-Semitism right now. It's beyond tone deaf. It's infuriatingly ignorant. Doesn't make me want to see the match. Makes me want to turn the channel. I know a few other.
Again, that is the narrative of, like, I get it. And again, I gotta go back and watch the promo. But if he didn't say Jew or anything in the promo, then it's like we're interpreting that Juice Robinson is, trying to knock out MJF or World Records because he's a Jew. And I get that's what MJF's story is as well. So I gotta go back, rewatch the promo. Apparently, that's what it is. So, I guess I will go based off that, but I gotta go back and watch the promo and make the determination for myself. You know what I mean? But people are saying Juice Robinson should be terminated immediately, like WWE Gareth. Like, go. God, man, I hate that guy, man, on fucking Twitter, man. He's just a WWE cock-sucking dick rider. who just hates AEW. And also there's Dre Maker as well, who loves AEW too as well. So he's not no better. He's probably protecting Juice Robinson. So, but at the end of the day, was it tone deaf? Yes. I'm not saying it's not tone deaf, but I don't think that they went down to that ring thinking like, oh, we're going to try to get heat because there's things going on in Israel right now. I think that Juice Robinson did the promo just to get under Matt's skin because he used to get tortured with quarters back in the day. I don't really think it's because he's a Jew. I don't think it has anything with him being Jewish.
Right. And that's Juice Robinson's shit. He hits guys with the roll of quarters. He's been doing that ever since he became a member of the Bullet Club.
And that's why I told Drew earlier too. I'm like, that's his gimmick. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like,
his thing.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, the people who are getting, they're getting mad over it, but they don't totally understand because they never see anything in New Japan before. Which I get, I understand it, but don't get mad over something if you don't know the context behind why Juice Robinson has the chorus in the first place.
Right.
If you don't understand why Juice Robinson don't have the chorus in the first place, you should not be getting fucking mad at it. That's fake as fuck. That's fake as fuck, and you just don't understand it, right? Now, again, it's still, at the end again, it's still tone deaf. But at the same time, what I'm saying is that I don't think they went down to that ring to cut that promo with that intention in mind of, hey, MJF, he's a Jew, let's use these roller cords and let's put his name on it. It's really like, hey, I got these roller cords with your name on them. It's going to be a resemblance of what happened to you back in the day. Not because he's Jewish, it's just because of these guys, they're assholes, they're bullies. They want to be bullies to MJF, how he used to be bullied back in the day. That's it.
It'll use his past trauma against.
That's it. That's all it is.
Right.
That's all it is. I'm sure I'm going to be going off of a tangent tomorrow just like this on the podcast in the morning, so.
Right.
It's all good, man.
Right. But on that note, unless there's anything else you guys want to bring up?
No. I mean, are we doing our podcast tomorrow too, or is this it for the week?
Well, I mean, as far as I know, this is it for the week. Cause
oh, okay. If it's it for the week, then no, I'm good.
Unless you do want to do some tomorrow, but
oh well, no, I didn't know because I didn't know we were doing this show today, then the regular podcast tomorrow. But no, I'm good for the week. So
right, but
I think we talked. I think we
talked about everything.
I think tomorrow we're probably been talking about follow up to these shows anyway. So
Right.
The news that came out or whatnot. But yeah, I'm good.
All right, guys. We will be back next week at our regularly scheduled time, Wednesday, 9 p.m. Central Time here in Discord. Also on Spreaker. We are live on Spreaker right now. And also on YouTube. So I want to thank Justin, as usual, for being my podcasting partner in crime. Thank you, Justin.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you guys know where to find me. Follow me on X. Well, don't follow me on X because my account's suspended right now, and because X is a bunch of assholes. So, but yeah, just subscribe to the Morning Slam podcast on YouTube. It is the best morning news podcast for pro wrestling weekdays every morning, 8:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. Yeah, we talk about some real shit on there too as well, just like how I'm talking about here tonight. So if you like me, go check me out on there. And yeah, appreciate it.
And RJ, thank you for showing up here too, man.
Absolutely. I told you I would get a little bit of the taste of the experience tonight, and wow, here we are.
You definitely got that taste, brother. Maybe a little too much because you're maybe a little too much. You might need to take some NyQuil before you go to
Yes,
bed.
I do.
I get a taste.
You got a taste.
Just like Danny Magic, like you got a taste.
But I want to thank everybody for showing up. Any familiar faces, any new faces, thank you for showing up to the show tonight. And hopefully we might be seeing more of you next week or from here on out. But I want to thank everybody, and I want to thank everybody who supports the show, who downloads, who's a friend of ours. And, you know where to find me. Spreaker is the home base where you can find this. This is also on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes. Anywhere that podcasts are put out. I also have a YouTube channel if you want to listen to it or watch it, whatever you choose to do. I also have a Patreon. I have a Patreon channel that I do shows with Mr. RJ here. We just had a show that came out for our Revenge of the Savage Nerds. Listen to that. I do a show with Jeff Littman that just came out. It's Garden of Droom. And I do a show with Ruben Prime, Culture Attack, which we're supposed to do one this week, but our schedules got tied up, so it looks like we're going to be doing one next week. And it's only $5 a month, people. It's a really good deal. The more subscribers we get, the more tiers we can do, the more stuff we can do for the show. Might even give away some shit. You never know.
Ooh.
Some prizes, people. Some prizes. Surprises. Some prizes. Maybe not pie, but you never know. But $5 a month, people. And the Friendly Neighborhood Marks podcast I do every morning with Mr. RJ here and Monty. Basically just us covering the week of wrestling. I'm not the host. Monty's the host. Sometimes RJ's the host. I'm just the guest. And we just dropped a tasty little show today. So
it'll be going up soon.
It'll be up soon, so you're gonna love it when you hear it. And for anyone that's interested, Jeff Littman, one of his many podcasts that he does Garden of Doom, which is not a wrestling podcast. It's more of a podcast about, you know, conspiracy theories, the supernatural, stuff like that. My shoot brother, was on the podcast. Brother! My older brother, Michael, he was on the podcast today, so check it out. There's some quality issues, some connections issues, so just forewarning you, but he's on the show, or he was a guest on the podcast, so give it a listen. It was pretty good. There's more Yaris coming out, so beware, people. We're taking over.
Beware the Yari.
Beware the Yari. Return of the Yari. That was bad, but anyways, we are done, people. Thank you, and we will see you next week. Same time, same channel, or our regularly scheduled.
Unless something like major happens out of nowhere.
Exactly, like you said. But as far as that goes, we will be back to our regularly scheduled time Wednesday at 9 p.m. Central Time. But from all of us to you, thank you guys, and the show will be out soon. And peace out and be safe.
Peace.